Cherie's World is brought to you by Less is More Events. Get Lime.
Welcome to Cherie's World.
Hello, Cherie's World, and welcome. I got a treat for you today. I want you to meet somebody who's really special to me in my life. He has been like a mentor. He is my soulmate and one of my best friends in this whole entire world. Question, you want to guess who it is? How many of you know somebody who has actually fought Congress and won? That's right. Mr. Luther Campbell is in the house. A lot of you know him as Uncle Luke, but I want to introduce you to the man that I know. His name is Luther. Please give him a warm welcome, Cherie's World.
This is Cherie's World.
Making Memories Sale Series. It's a sale that allows families and people in our communities in any city, state, or showtime to attend a series of events at a lower price than most, such as like the Trolls Live, Disney on Ice, the Universal Soul Circus, concerts, sports, and more. Contact Less is More Events at 202-930-3533. Again, that's 202-930-3533. Visit the website, getlimetickets.com. They're on social media, Facebook, IG, Twitter. Less is More Events. Get out and lime. Hey, if you're listening to Cherie's World Podcast on Apple Podcasts and iTunes, please give us a 5-star. Let us know what you think. Leave us a review. I want to hear from you. Thank you.
Would you like to advertise on Cherie's World and have your product placed on Cherie's social media for the world to see? Email us now at cheriesworldpodcast@gmail.com for low introductory rates. Cherie's World Podcast. Get heard.
Welcome to Cherie's World.
Cherie's World, I don't really need to introduce this man because everybody knows who Mr. Luther Campbell is. Luke, this is Courtney.
What's
Hey,
up, sir?
how you doing, Courtney?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Nice to meet you.
Look at all them plaques on the wall.
He's showing out. He's showing out over there.
Yeah, plaques on the wall.
yeah.
I like the plaques on the wall, though.
Too many plaques on the wall. I was just talking to a friend of mine. He just reminded me how long we have been locked up. He was like, "Yeah, I've been doing my church, virtual church, for 5 weeks." I was like, "Oh shit, it's been 5 weeks."
Wait a minute. So your friend does virtual? You talking about a pastor or a preacher or something?
Yes.
See, this is what I want people to know about Mr. Luther Campbell, because everybody has this whole idea in their head, and that is not the man I know. When I did your intro for the radio show, I already did it, and I talked about how, do they know anybody who's ever beat Congress before? Because I do, and he's going to be on the show today.
Oh.
I want them to know that man. So can you take us on a journey, Luke?
Take you on a journey.
Of Luther Campbell, not Uncle Luke, because Uncle Luke is
a Luther Campbell journey. I would say, I'm just like, my story is similar to most young people's story. Grow up in the hood in Libby City. It was 5 of us, total 7 of us in a 2-bedroom house. We did have a yard, so it wasn't that bad. Bunk beds. And, my mom, Bahamian, dad, Jamaican. And we just grew up in a house where you had to work. You had to make do what you had to do to make your way. And so, fortunately enough, all my brothers, ended up going to college, becoming who's who and sumo cum laudes and all that. And that I chose a different route. I was a tough guy on the streets for a little while. until
Really?
I got shipped to DC. I had to end up staying in DC for some time, so I don't end up getting it, getting killed, getting put in jail for a long time. And so I learned that staying in DC, I learned about business and seeing African Americans doing good business. Because back then in Miami, it was either you just worked. It wasn't too many African Americans with their own businesses and moving around like there was in DC. So moved up there, came back, got in a DJ group. I started DJing, so I became one of the biggest DJs in Miami. Uh, from that, started bringing down artists like Run DMC, Tila Rock, Divine Sound, uh, you name it, Mantronics. Was a promoter and doing big skate rink parties and all that. So I kind of brought hip hop to Miami. It wasn't really happening, and so from there, I didn't end up getting into the music business. Met Two Live Crew. Tried to find a deal for them, but I couldn't find a deal. Nobody wanted them. And then I was just like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And I ended up doing myself and ended up putting one record out. And then the mobsters that I put the record out through, because I manufactured, marketed, and distributed the record myself, which I did.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time, because most people don't know that. You did what? Say it one more time, boo.
I manufactured, marketed, and distributed the record myself.
Before Master P. There was no Master P. They give
No, it was no Master P. Actually, I tried to sign up Master P. I love Master P. That's my guy. That's my dude. We share a common bond into being totally independent and being two individuals to create our own and create from within. So yeah, it was nobody. I mean, it was nobody in the South. We were the first label in the South doing hip hop music. There were other labels doing, dance and R&B and things like that. But once I started, I went to Atlanta, found the artists. Went to New Orleans, found the artists, and most of my artists came from Miami, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. The man fought Congress. The man is a businessman, and that's who I want to talk about today, the businessman. Hey, businessman, after rap, there's been you are the mayor of Miami. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know why you haven't ran. Why, being the mayor of Miami, right? Why haven't you just gone on and taken your seat and taken over?
Well, I actually did run for mayor, but I ran in a special election, which the mayor at the time had got impeached, and it was a special election. It wasn't a long campaign; it was a short one that happened real fast. I got pretty much 30% of the vote. It came to a runoff with the three of us. It was about a field of probably 12, and I didn't win. Which I didn't think I was going to win because it was a short election. But at the end of the day, it was a great experience. But what I was trying to do, which is what I accomplished, which I created a constituent and a base of people that I could depend on, that depend on me to then, endorse candidates. Like right now, in order for you to win become the mayor, county commissioner, school board member, they need my endorsement in order to be able to win because I have a block of voters, young combination, young people, black people, white, Hispanic, Jewish, and I have a serious block of people that follow my direction. So I have tons of people calling me, asking me for an endorsement, but I hear their platform because the platform needs to fit, what's the necessary things that the people need.
Will you run again?
Will I run again? I think I will. I think I'll probably run for Congress in a couple of years. I'm just trying to, I got to, it's almost like anything. You got to get it out your system. I got to get the music business totally out of my system. where I don't have to tour, I don't have to go perform. I could just do one thing. Because when you work for the people, it's hard to separate yourself. And I don't want to short nobody. So I think I got probably another couple of years of doing this entertainment business. 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 at the most, and then eventually end up running for some kind of seat. But I like Congress. I think I can go there and do some real damage.
What about president?
No.
You sure?
None of that. That's too murky. No,
I have way more faith in you than what we have now.
No, I ain't gonna. Hey, look, that dude there. Ooh, we could talk all night about him.
We don't even need to go there. Go ahead, Courtney. I know you.
Well, first of all, when I first actually met Cherie and started doing business with Cherie, you were like one of the first people who she spoke very highly of. I didn't even know that you all knew each other like that. How did you meet Cherie, and how do you all know each other? For people like me who didn't know that.
Man, I met Cherie many years ago. What was she was dating a shoe salesman? And I was like, this nice lady here. And
met me long before him. Funny. I never dated a shoe salesman.
I always have to get to the shoe salesman story.
Go ahead, I want to hear that.
I thought right to the shoe salesman. I mean, many years ago. I mean, we basically hit it off. We used to hang out when I would go to LA. Me, her, and what's the other girl name?
You want me to tell the whole story?
Yeah, you tell the story.
So Mari Morrow and I went yes, for the University for the University of Miami World AIDS Day. We were there doing demonstrations. The female condom had just come out, and Mari and I were demonstrating how to use the female condom. Long story short, I had
to see that demonstration, by the way.
You wouldn't even talk to me. Like, tell the truth. So when we came into Luke's radio show, Luke he opened his doors and let us come in to talk about World AIDS Day and everything we had going on. Well, he never spoke to me. He only talked to Mari. They said I was a little girl. So they were trying to be respectful of the little girl that was in the studio. This little big mouth girl ended up asking one question. Hey, Luke, how can you tell the difference between a gentleman's club and a strip club? I missed it. He sent my limo driver home. He ended up kidnapping us for the night and showed me the difference between a strip club and a gentleman's club. He called my mother. I was so young. I was like, wait, Luke, I can't go with you. I have to tell my mom where I'm going. And he was like, oh,
you hated me ever since.
Yeah.
That was a crazy night. We hung out the whole entire night. We was at the Marlin Hotel.
Yes, I almost missed my
radio show, and that's where the radio show. I don't know if you remember, but that's where I discovered DJ Khaled and put him on my show, and that's how he became a big DJ. We would invite a lot of guests on there.
Okay, stay right there, Luke. You said you discovered DJ Khaled doing the radio show?
Well, Khaled was on a underground radio station, and I just thought he was different. And so I was doing a radio show. Well, I was getting ready to do a radio show on 99 Jams, which eventually I ended up doing. So I was like, let me get this kid off this underground station, and create a team and a show. And he was a part of the show, and I brought him on there. And so I kind of introduced him to the masses because nobody had no idea who he was and what he was. He would be hanging around. He was the guy that hung around all the rappers and everything. So, I just like this gift of gab. He was a DJ, local DJ at mostly reggae clubs. He was playing reggae music. And when I put him on the show, it was rough at the beginning because the radio station didn't really like him. A couple of times they told me to kick him off the air. And I said, no, I'm not going to kick him off the air. Well, suspend him for a week. So I would suspend the show because I wasn't doing it for no money or anything like that. I said, well, we're all a takeoff. And eventually, people started liking him. He was a great character on the show.
I'm watching Netflix now, and Players Club is now on there. And you were on Players Club. You had one of the classic lines where you told her, and all of us men have been there. What's your memory from being on Players Club?
Oh man, my memory from being on Players Club, it was interesting because at that time that was like the height of my career. So when you're hot, they want you to do everything. They want you to do things that you don't do. And so I always kind of wanted to mess around with acting. So Ice Cube asked me to come do it, do a cameo. So before that, I remember doing when they first asked me to get into acting, I took classes. Cherie probably don't know that. I took classes, and then I ended up with this little old lady in Coconut Grove. Then I ended up, Cool Runnings was my first casting. I went to read for that. I did not like it. I did not like people, telling me, I'm reading and a bunch of people sitting around and they looking at me and staring at me and shit. And then I was like, I don't like this. And I just totally just stopped messing with movie because they didn't prepare me for that part, and so later on after that, Ice Cube hit me up and was like, man, I want you to come do this. I'm doing this movie. So that was actually my first time being on a movie set. And when I got on there, I just, it was the whole hurry up and wait thing. It was worse than a music video because it was like, all right, you got a call time at 7 p.m. So I get there at 7 p.m. We don't shoot till 5 p.m., 5 a.m. And I'm rapper, man. I'm running around like a chicken with my neck. Hold on, shit. Because if I'm going at 7 o'clock, I'm going to shoot maybe 7 or 8. And then I got a club and a hotel full of girls waiting for me and all that. And that don't happen. It's like, you got to stay. I mean, probably the best people, they got me to stay. So I ended up staying. And then we shot, I think, the outside of the club scene first. We shot that. And with my man, God bless his soul, my security, he's dead now. We shot that scene, and that was good. And then the next day, so I had to come back and shoot it again the next day. And so it was the same thing. 5 o'clock in the morning, I was like, fuck this. I'm not going through this here. And we shot the inside the club scene, which was basically on a set. So it wasn't an actual club.
Oh.
Yeah, we shot it on a set. And when I went in there, I was so fucking annoyed. I had lines. They gave me lines. And when the girl came in, I was like, look, it was 5 o'clock in the morning again. The girl came in and she said, no, before that, before I went and shot, it was a fucking earthquake.
Oh, shit.
It was like, oh, shit. I mean, the whole thing, the lights shaking and everything, it was like, yo, we in an earthquake. So it was a fucking earthquake. I'm like, just my luck. I am in an earthquake. And I'm hot in the pants. I got to get to where I got places to go and things to do. So I wrote it out. I'm riding out for Cube. And the earthquake happened. Then we shot the scene where I was in there and the girl came in and fuck the lines. I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. Then that girl, she came in and I was like, get the fuck off me. So that was not written. It was like, I naturally said that.
I believe it.
Get your ass off me. And it was, hey, so everybody reminds me of that right now today. And y'all the first person to ask me. And this is probably the first time I ever told the story. In this, how it went, because I know everybody's like, who the fuck wrote that? And I was like, hold on. Then we shot it and then we just kept shooting. And then they came back and it was like, that's not the line. Can you read the shit on your side? And I'm like, okay, all right. So I read the line. And they never used what they wrote. They used what I had. And then I left right after that. I hauled ass. I got in the car. Okay, all right. As soon as they took a break to change the camera, I was gone. I got in my car and it was like, no, you got to shoot some more. So if you look at the movie close, with the fight scene, that's not me. That was the stand-in.
Oh my God. He wanted to go. I remember he wanted to get on the plane.
I'm leaving. I already had me a flight at the airport at 11 in the morning. I went straight to the airport. They were like, yo, you got to come back. You got to come back. No, y'all ain't tricking me with this shit no more. I'm leaving.
He was gone. I remember getting a phone call saying, I don't know how you do this shit. I can't just sit around.
I know, right? But I mean, that was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. But then I kind of did a few more other films. But then I kind of understood it and liked it. But nobody prepped me for a set, the hurry up and wait, the sit down thing, and all that.
See, me being a fan, I'm thinking just because you did Luke's Peep Show that Players Club is just naturally, but you're saying you wasn't at a strip club. It wasn't like y'all was in a strip club and they just said action. You were actually
no. They did some. I mean, they did some creative things. Like the actual club when we walked in, that was in the club. The club was on a set. So it was they did a good job. They did a good job. I mean, it's crazy right now because what the movie was out 23 years ago. And so when you do the math, you see all these young people who never saw the movie before, and now it's back out. And it's on Netflix, and everybody locked up in their house. So I'm getting all kind of phone calls like, yo, like the movie is new. Like, the movie is 23 years old. It's crazy.
One thing I can say, Courtney, you ever walk into the strip club with Uncle Luke is just like that. Like they might not have the lights going off and stuff, but every girl in there rushes to be with Luke. But Luke has this crazy, sick energy that I have been on the elevator with Luke. And some 40-year-old straight church women get in the elevator. By the time we get to the first floor, they are totally different people.
Oh shit! That's actually one of my. Oh, okay, we'll do that later on. But that's funny you say that.
No, it's true. You could go ahead and do it now. They're totally different people, and I'm like, what happened? Because so Luke touched on my mother doesn't like Luke. It's not that my mother doesn't like Luke. I was an underage little girl who went to Miami for a job and ended up hanging out with Luke and almost missed my flight. But I didn't know anything about Luke's Peep Show. I had never seen Luke's Peep Show. I did have a 2 Live Crew album. I had one on one. We're having some fun. My mom confiscated it. Malcolm Jamal Warner actually gave it to me. Thank you, Malcolm. But my mom confiscated it because I had to be like 12 at the
from me. And here we are friends 20 years later.
20-something years later. Yeah. I absolutely, positively adore Luke. Anybody who knows me knows that I adore Luke. He has been an amazing mentor, a friend, and the love of my life. Luke, can I tell them the most important lesson you ever taught me, or is that a little bit too much?
No, you could tell them.
I, against my mother's will, drove my car up to meet Luke. I won't say where it is because I don't want to give people's wives antennas. But there was a music convention going on, right?
Music convention.
Yes, there was a music convention going on. And Luke had like this DJ booth. He had converted this suite into like a party, right? And I was sitting down and I was eating chicken wings. And they were hot wings. They was good. I had shit all over my fingers. And Luke said, stand up real quick and look around the room. I had been missing this whole party because he gave me a plate of food. And if anybody know me, they know I love food. So I didn't really know what was going on. Luke said, stand up. I stood up. He kind of put me under his armpit. And he said, look around this room. Do you see any condoms? words cannot describe what was going on in this room, okay? But there was a whole bunch of people, yeah, and a whole bunch of stuff. And Luke said, you don't see one condom, but most of these men are married. In fact, all of them are married. And he looked at me and he said, love, I was still in his armpit. He said, love yourself and trust yourself and don't trust no man ever. And I was like, okay. And he said, now sit your ass down. And he got back on the microphone and kept doing what he was doing. And I sat back down. Stomach was kind of hurting now because of the stuff that I had seen and I couldn't imagine. But growing up in the industry, it's like you are kind of just thrown into the wolves. And instead of Luke being a wolf, Luke was a protector.
Yeah, and that's dope that you say that, because you know a lot of people would never want to believe that side of Luke because of, you know, the 2 Live crews, the peep shows and stuff like that. And I'm glad you said that, because that, you know, people just want to keep you in that character as Uncle Luke. How do you feel about that though, Luke? When you hear Cherie gives the real about you, and then you know other people think another way about you.
Well, it's, you know, my close friends, all my close friends are people who know me. They know me. You know what I'm saying? For who I am and the type of person I am. Other people, they may pass judgment. Most people think my house is full of half-naked women or naked women.
Guilty.
They think I like girls with big booties, which
Guilty.
I don't. You know, and you know, and so, you know, everybody has their own. It's almost like reading the Bible. Everybody have a different interpretation of what they're reading, you know, and there's so much propaganda, you know, so many people looked at the news, and because the reporter on the news, you felt like you could trust and believe what he's saying. You believed him when he said Luther Campbell, a misogynistic pig, he's corrupting the minds of young people and the music, and it needs to be banned. So people believe that, you know, because again, that idiot box will mess around with people's minds. So they'll give you this ideal of, you got a good idea of me, you know, and most people think they know you. And so I you know, I you know, I have a little small circle of friends. You know, they defend me more than I defend myself, because I personally don't give a shit. I personally feel, you know, because I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna do what I got to do. But they do more defending who I am and the type of person I am, because everybody knows somebody. That's why I never pass judgment on no person, you know, based on how they look, what character they play. So I know my role in the hip hop music business, and my character has been the guy who gets the girls and get the party going and tell everybody we want this and we want that, and is all sexually driven. I understand that is my character, but then at the end of the day, it's a time and place for everything. You know, most people, they see you and they automatically look and say, "Hey, where are the big booty girls?" What do you think? They're at the strip club. You know? So
You've never seen his wife?
it's funny. Hmm?
You've never seen his wife? She's a tall, slender, gorgeous woman, very classy. She's an attorney.
Oh.
Yeah, totally different than what they thought I would.
Attaboy, Luke. Attaboy. Damn, there you go.
Yeah.
Smart.
Luke got a businesswoman because he is a businessman.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to do, Luke, before you leave, we got to put together some kind of Q&A, because I want to give away a couple of your books. Luke is an author, and I think that everybody should read his books. So what kind of Luke trivia can you give him, Luke? And then you got to give a couple beats and then give us the answers. Because if it's about
trivia,
yeah, you could do music trivia, because I probably don't know the answers.
okay. Here's an easy one. I give you an easy one. What part of Miami did I grow up in?
If you listen to the podcast, you should know that answer.
How many you want me to give you?
Give me 3.
Okay, that's one. All right. Nothing they can find on Google, because you know you can go. Well, you probably Google that. What was my What was my first album name? You probably Google that. But then they'll probably get me mixed up with the 2 Live Crew. My album.
We need the answer though.
Yeah, you got to get that. Oh, you need the answer too?
Yeah, right, Cherie? We need the answer, right?
No, I think I know that.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted him to say it for the video, but okay.
Oh no, I was gonna say you're gonna do it later.
Yeah. What city did my first record get taken off the shelf?
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. Thank you, Mr. Luther Campbell. So which book do you want me to give away?
The Book of Luke.
Okay. The Book of Luke. Speaking of the Book of Luke, I heard that Kanye is trying to do like the Book of Yeezy.
Probably.
Do you think he got that from you?
Probably. I'm pretty sure.
What do you think about him as a whole?
Kanye West?
Yeah.
Kanye West is special. I think he's special. I mean, he's an artist, and let me just tell you, because I'm pretty sure people who hang out with me that think I'm weird. Most artists, especially musicians, are weird. Yeah. Very weird. I mean, when the best musicians and artists are weird as shit, and the ones who confine themselves or just get control of who have people that protect them to be around them to not show that weird part. Like I take an example. If you know Whitney Houston, you met Whitney Houston?
Yes.
Whitney Houston didn't talk slow. She talked fast, and she used every cuss word in the book. Whitney Houston I love her to death. Whitney Houston was as ghetto as they come. But she had a circle around her and protected her. The public did not see that part. She'll cuss your ass out. Like, what the fuck are you looking at? Who the fuck are you? Like, I mean, that's how, so it's like Kanye West, I just think he's such a brilliant artist. I can't say what a man should be married into, but I just think the reality shit is going to put a stain on his legacy, because it's a catch. It's a reality catch because the motherfucker is talented. He is absolutely talented. You know what I'm saying? You at the White House with Trump, and making yourself look foolish. A lot of times he makes himself look foolish, but it's because the people around him, I feel, are using him for their own platform. And he now caught up to this thing where he has to make a splash to do something crazy so people could think Kanye doing something crazy. The kid he's very, very talented. He's very talented. And I just, like Prince. If you knew Prince, if you hung out with Prince, I've hung out with Prince a couple times, God bless his soul. Prince, you would think Prince is weird as shit. I remember hanging out with Prince one time in Miami, and we was he bought a club on South Beach, club that most people call Mansion. He bought the club. We were riding around, and shit, Prince would ride around and get girls off the street and take them and do their hair. He'll get a call, Prince, and he'll take them in the room and do their hair. It's like, what the fuck is this? So you never knew what was going on with, weird. But again, that it wasn't like he was doing people hair and putting the shit on camera. You know what I'm saying? And he would go to a club and if there was a band, he'd jump on the stage and start performing. I mean, like Floyd Mayweather, he'll be riding in a truck. He'll hop out the truck and start running, like haul ass running. Man, I gotta get that work in. So most very, very creative people are kind of weird people. Like I know I've got some weird shit.
I don't think you're weird at all.
Well, a lot of people probably got weird stories. They say they have weird stories.
Maybe I'm weird.
Most of the time.
Maybe I'm weird because I just never been able to see it.
Hey.
Yeah, you're probably weird too.
Uncle Luke, it's your birthday versus In the Club. What did you think when you first heard 50 take your line, and make it into, take your song and make it into a hot line for his song?
I mean, I liked this song. I mean, I didn't have any opinion of it. I like music, so I'm a music connoisseur. I love music, and I like it. I love it. And so when people are being creative, whether they take a song of mine and be creative with the song, I have an appreciation up for it. If it's whack, I'm gonna say it's whack. That was a classic song. Still is a classic song. I liked it. Um, uh, and hey, when people sample me, if they sample me and it sounds horrible, I be like, this is trash. And 9 times out of 10, most of the time, I turn it down. The release of the sample, it's so I be flattered. Like I give you a little story. Like yesterday, they had this big Travis Scott concert yesterday on Fortnite, which I never knew they could do that shit.
Right.
And my son was all excited about it. He was like, Daddy, Travis Scott, and so him and all his friends on there looking at the thing, and they got the Fortnite. They got him moving around, and him and his friends, and they were like, yeah, they get ready to say your dad name or shit on there. So I was like, I didn't even know you even know, So you find out different things about kids, but it's flattering, and for my kids, it's more flattering for them to see somebody that they like, an artist they like, to be, hollering their daddy name. So that was kind of interesting.
That's cute. My nieces and nephews actually recorded it and sent it to me because they said your name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was cute. Yeah.
Cherie, me and you were just talking about parenting.
Yes.
And Uncle Luke, Cherie gave me some advice, but I have 2 young sons, and I want to know what kind of dad Uncle Luke is. Maybe you can help me out. My wife bought my daughter books because she's growing up and maturing and going in, she's 10. So she got her books to understand her body. And she asked me, don't these boys need to know something too? And I was like, well, nobody really taught me anything. I just kind of, figured it out as I went. My sons are 7 and 5. What kind of parenting tips would you give, Uncle Luke or Luther Campbell give to?
Yes, Luther Campbell, because Uncle Luke is somebody totally different. I don't know him.
Right.
Well, I want to know both. What would Luke say?
Well, I think it's me with my son. He's 10 years old. He'll be 11 this year.
Oh, okay.
I let him. He's the first. I got other kids, but he's the first one I've been fortunate enough to have in the house with me and raise. And it's it's different. You have a balance between the mama and the dad, and I always figure that that's really important. Sometimes we have a tendency of being in relationships and we cut and run for us, because we want to be happy. When you have kids, it's not about you anymore. It's about the kid. And if more of us take that approach, then more African American households will stay together, and our product and our offsprings will be have that balance to understand how to love a woman and a man. So it's a chemical imbalance. The mother, we look at a football game, the first thing a boy will say, "Hi, mom," and you see a girl do some gymnastics, the first thing she'll say, "Hi, Dad." That's the balance, because the mother, in my opinion, the mother loves that boy to death, because, and the mother 9 times 10 is harder on the daughter. The dad is hard on the son, and the mother is more comforting. So basically, the mother is teaching the boy how to be loved by a woman, and the dad is teaching the girl how to be loved by a man.
Yeah.
because you have that balance. Because when you have, not saying a single parent household can't find that, but you can find it in it because, when a mother understands this is what it is, I can teach my daughter's son, because this is understand the situation that teaching them the balance, but it ain't nothing. That's why, a man, I tell, I have to teach you how to be a man. So during the courses, we do men things. I mean, we go out. You got to be in some kind of activity. You got to do some kind of sports. You got to be involved in some kind of group. And the reason why I say sports, whether you're sports or chess or some team type sport, because you got to be able to know how to work with other people. And I'm always monitoring what he's doing, where is he hanging out, what he's looking at. I play kind of jokes on him, which, we play a bunch of different jokes. But I mean, raising the son is, I probably spoil him to death. I'm gonna give my son just like, I have one of my daughters that I'm real close with. I spoil her because I always tell her I don't want no man to have to do nothing for you. You don't have to depend on no man to do nothing for you. You let a man know you got a daddy. And so now a man got to step his game up. As far as my son, it's more like same. You guys, you have responsibilities. You got to take the garbage out. You got
Okay, now
you got to do responsible things.
he's trying to ask you nicely. Basically, his son has been waking up with a heart on and does not know what's going on with his body. I told him, yeah, you need to explain to the baby what's going on.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get to the point. You'll get to the point where you'll get to the point where you have to talk to these kids about girls and sex and things like that. Like I'll mess with my son to see how far advanced he is. I'll say, hey, man, it's what that girl name is who like you in school. No, Daddy.
Yeah, see, that's what I get.
I tell you that, no girls in my room, and stuff like that. So you kind of that lets you know that they still are not, they ain't thinking about the wrong thing. So now the boy waking up and his body is, then you got to explain to him, okay, this is what's going on with your body. And that's what happens. But then 10 years old is still so fragile.
But what do you do? Like, you don't just let them wake up and have their first little wet dream and they didn't even know it was coming, right? Like, you have to,
exactly. I mean, you do have to. I mean, we're not with our kids on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So it's just like when we were kids. Mom and dad is pretty much overseers. So we don't know what they're looking at, what they're getting into, or what their mind at. So it is based on indirect, organically, let me find out what's on your mind and what you're getting into. So, again, if you're getting that far advanced, then we need to have an advanced conversation. I guess to answer the question. So what's going on? Okay, this is what's going on. This is what normally happens. Okay, but then if the mind is still fragile, you got to kind of watch.
his baby's mind is definitely still fragile. He's only 7, but he's still waking up with his little pecker hard.
That's interesting.
And it's really uncomfortable for my wife more so than I think for the boy, because she's still trying to get him dressed, and she's like, oh my God, should I move it this way or should I? I'm like, just leave it alone. I really told her, I said, let them boys get their own self dressed, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Mama's gonna be mamas.
Yeah, you gotta let them dress up on the. Hey, look, put your clothes on, boss. That's me. It's a fight. There's a fight around here to put the lotion on. And then I kind of remember in my mind, I guess it was a fight too, because I just remember put the lotion on your elbow, lotion your knees, lotion it. So I probably was the same way. I mean, it's they'll work it again. it's not. I don't think it's anything to be alarmed about, because if you have a kid that's waking up like that, but then his mind's still fragile and he's not thinking about girls, or he's not going to sleep looking at something that he shouldn't be looking at while mom and dad is in the room, then it'll go past. It'll
So just ignore it and act like it don't.
it'll be just like anything. It's a fad. I mean, these kids. I mean, that's why it's so unique. When I'm raising my son, like there have been times where he just ate cereal every morning. He just didn't only wanted one thing. Okay, he's just gonna eat not a bologna, but a turkey sandwich. Turkey sandwich dinner, turkey sandwich night, turkey sandwich all he wanted. So it'd be weird. It's like, shit, was I like that? So the kids go through a fad before you know it, they'll move on to something else.
And I didn't want to come across like being shallow, but I'm like, I want to just say, like, girls are different. Like, they develop different. Like, boys, I'm trying to think back. I don't remember developing. I just remember I grew and I got facial hair, and I don't remember nothing else to like worry about, like to teach somebody about.
I think when we got 13, when boys get about 12, when they get about 12, and then 13 is a big number. I'm gonna be a teenager.
Yeah.
And then you go to looking and see if you got any hairs down there. And like, yeah, I got one hair. And before you know it, then you got the girls over the house. When mom and dad gone, and then you don't know what you're doing then, and before you know it, you find out what you're doing. So I mean, it's I think at that age it'll pass.
I want to change the subject real quick. Luke, you have made it known that artists, they need to come and ask for a pass before they can come in your city.
Oh,
yes. I think not necessarily a pass. I think what has happened, there's been a lot of artists coming into Miami and basically taking advantage of the city. They'll move here and they'll just set up shop as if they own the city, and they just run around. They want to go into the hood, then they'll pump fake like they're signing up a rapper in the hood to get a ghetto pass, and don't do nothing with the rapper just so that they can move around. You have a lot of artists that's dealing with issues, which has always been from wherever they live at, because they can't hang out in their town because somebody want to do something to them, and then they run to Miami and bring all the smoke down here. So, those are the type of things. It's not no, it's just a respect thing. I would never go to LA and claim LA, and I think it's a lot of artists that do that. And so I had to remind them, y'all just visited. And if you do want to move here, then be a part of society, be a part of the community. And that means doing, social things, being involved within the community. Don't just come in just to have a party and tear up the place and leave. You know what I'm saying? So respect the place, because most people are from someplace else, and they move to a city and they live there and they get involved within the community, and they are residents of the area, whether they're helping the girls at the park, selling ice cream, or whatever, they're involved. But these guys that come down here and they just, they're very disrespectful, and then you have a lot of people that bring them down here. So I remind them all the time. But I think, and that's one of the other things is I'm like, okay, I need to get back. I wasn't going to get back heavy into the music business, but it's just so many artists down here that's getting overlooked. It's bad. I mean, it's a lot of talented people that I feel like getting overlooked, and I think it's my responsibility since ain't nobody else want to do it. Everybody else is putting everybody else on and bringing them down here, showcasing Miami. So I'm like, okay, let me just go and give some of these artists an opportunity.
So, Campbell, this is gonna play good on the best of radio show Cherie started, but I want to get Uncle Luke, and I want to get the Cherie that I be talking to on the phone here and there for this little segment, Luke. This is called True, False, or In. All right, so I'm just gonna ask you some things that I see or think or talk about or hear about. You just tell me true, false, or in. When Black people say "mind you," that means the story is about to get good. True, false, or in.
And that's almost like butt. Ain't nothing good come out the butt. Yeah. I like it. But
Right.
butt is not good.
All right, here we go. True, false, or in. Stomachs don't belong in leggings.
True.
Say that again.
Stomachs don't belong in leggings.
Oh, true. True.
All right, here we go. This is going to be an interesting one. Women have 3 types of panties. Period panties, chilling panties, and getting some dick panties. I might have to edit it out for the show. True, false, and
False. I always have on a thong.
Yeah, Cherie is an expert at that. She finally had a kid. I always thought she was a virgin.
Really?
You just, yeah.
Is that why you ruined every relationship I ever had?
Yeah, I did. It was on purpose.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We went AWire with the game, but yeah, he ruined every.
Back to the game. Back to the game. False.
Yeah, that really caught me off. Yeah. Well,
He's
okay.
in shock right now.
Yeah, really.
What, did he thought I was a virgin?
Trying to ruin my relationships?
No, I'm going back to the thong panties one, but go. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, the thong, what? I never knew it was. I thought you just get naked. There wasn't no such thing as panties to have sex with.
3 type of panties. Period, chilling. They said period panties, chilling panties, and panties that get some dick. So
I'm gonna say false.
okay. All right. And I'll just give a last one.
That thing aside. Get them all the time. You pull it to the side, and okay.
Last one. Men that eat boneless chicken wings close the fridge with their hips. True, false, or in?
True.
I don't know about that. I guess I'll say in. I never even thought about that. That's for Cherie. You made these up, Cherie?
No, I didn't.
Sadly, they come from me, Luke.
Oh Lord! Oh no! I never thought about that one. That's creative. I never thought.
I'm gonna be watching the way dudes eat from now on. Though I'm gonna be like, them got bones in it, or is them boneless?
I know, right? I never even thought about that. I guess I'll probably do some weird things too.
One more. Don't trust Cherie. You tell me this too. Don't trust a man that say sis.
Oh, I mean, true.
Okay.
Don't trust a man that says sis.
I don't know. Maybe false. It depends on how he says it. But you just said it kind of gay.
I said it.
Yes. Like, it depends on how he says sis. If he be like, oh, that's my sis, I mean, then I trust him because Tuan calls me a sister. Right. But if he says, yeah, sis, I don't know. Just say and, Luke. Just say and.
I'm a dude, so I don't know. That's an interesting one. I guess I don't pay attention to dudes that much.
Yeah, me either.
I can't answer to it. I'm not.
Look at them still in there thinking sis.
Crooked dudes when they babe and all that shit like that, when they get ready to go in, when they're moving too fast, I guess they might say sis.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is my little sister, but I really want to fuck her.
Luke has never called me sis.
No.
So, no. Luke, before you leave, will you do me a favor? Will you give us another drop while all 3 of us are on the camera and just say your name and what you're doing right now? however you want to say it.
Say what now? You want me to give you a drop?
Yeah, just a drop.
Hey, my name is Uncle Luke, and I'm here on the. And Cherie didn't tell me the name of the show.
Cherie's World. Cherie's World podcast.
Cherie's World is Cherie's World, and Cherie is the girl. Hey, I'm Uncle Luke, and I'm on Cherie's World. I love being on Cherie's World.
Oh, Cherie's World loves you. Thank you so much for being here, Luke. I hope you'll come back one day.
Yes, I will tell some revealing stories.
What kind of?
If I had my drinks, if I had a drink, then I'd be telling everything. It'd be a tell-all.
Well, maybe we need to have Luke back for a tell-all after the whole COVID is over. I'll send some drinks over to your house and we'll see what happens. Wait, what kind of tell-all though? Like, am I too young for this, or you?
We'll discuss it next time I'm on.
I'm gonna drink one with you, Luke.
Are you telling on me?
Please do.
I'm already drinking.
No, we're talking about something else.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
I love you.
Thanks for meeting. Nice meeting you, sir.
Love you too.
It's nice to meet you, Luke. And just so you know, when you left my spa, somebody said, "Oh my God, that's Uncle Luke," and my daughter was like, "Yeah, that's my uncle."
That's crazy. How your daughter doing? She's doing good?
Bad. She good, but she bad.
That's good. Be bad. Okie doke.
I love you. Thank you.
Welcome to Cherie's World.
Brought to you by Less is More Events. Get Lime.